They can't do the things that they used to be able to do. The pro-life was fighting it. We have these groups fighting this thing for so many decades, but it's exactly 52 years as of a date in the not too distant future. And that's a long time. Everybody's raising money all the time. Everybody, I don't know, maybe it's some kind of a business. I don't know what's going on.
Wow. That was former President Donald Trump seeming to be growing some level of disdain for the anti-abortion movement because he just accused them of basically running a business. Now, before we jump to conclusions, why don't we actually give him a fair say? Let's hear the statements in more context. And this is while he was speaking to the National File's Raheem Kassem.
You're putting this thing forward now on abortion to say, hey, listen, the country is sick of having this argument all the time. They actually want a solution to it, right? But if the Democrats now come back around, so you don't have to explain that to me, but if the Democrats come back to you and say, no, we're not interested in a deal with you, are you willing to then say, well, look, we tried. Now these Republicans are gonna do what they're gonna do.
Sure, I think something can happen. This is an issue that's been going on for 52 years. I was able to end it. That gave tremendous negotiating power to the pro-life movement, tremendous negotiating power. Because they can't do the things that they used to be able to do. The pro-life was fighting it. We have these groups fighting this thing for so many decades, but it's exactly 52 years as of a date in the not too distant future. And that's a long time. Everybody's raising money all the time. Everybody, I don't know, maybe it's some kind of a business. I don't know what's going on, but
it's a lot of money.
Everybody was amazed that I was able to do it. And I put them in a great negotiating position. And we don't want to blow it. This is an incredible thing that happened.
So to me, when you listen to his statements in greater context, he's kind of all over the place, and I'm not 1000% sure that he's referring to the fundraising of the anti-abortion groups, because maybe he's referring to the pro-abortion groups that have also raised money in order to fight this fight and maintain and protect reproductive rights in America. I don't know exactly who he's referring to, but one thing I do know is that lately he has been butting heads with the anti-abortion movement, and I've got receipts to show you on that in just a moment. But Cenk, what did you think?
No, I'm positive he meant the anti-abortion groups, what they would call pro-life, right? So there's a number of telling things in that short clip. So first of all, did you notice how he keeps calling the pro-life movement they? Look, I gave those pro-life people this, and I gave them that, and they're
still complaining.
Still complaining.
That was the tone.
Yeah. That meaning I'm not part of that movement, right? And I gave these guys things, and they're still ungrateful because he's not part of that movement. So why is he going after the anti-abortion groups? Because they're criticizing him. And why are they criticizing him? Because it turns out Donald Trump is pro-choice, as we all suspected. He was pro-choice earlier in his career, and then when he became a Republican, he's like, oh yeah, I'm pro-life. Yeah, that's what I hear. I read it in Corinthians 2.0. And so why am I saying he's pro-choice? We showed you the clip just about a week ago or so, where he explained, look, we just have to negotiate on the number of weeks. Some say 6, but 6 is no good. People don't like 6. So 15, 24, let's negotiate. Well, first of all, if we're negotiating over how many weeks, you're pro-choice. Because the pro-life position is it's life at conception, and God intended it that way, and it's over. We're not having a conversation about number of weeks. We're not having a conversation about exceptions. Donald Trump is in favor of exceptions. And if you put the number of weeks at 24, which is what most Americans think, so if we negotiated, that's the number we'd come to. 24 weeks was Roe v. Wade.
It was.
It's literally the Roe v. Wade decision. So Republicans lie now, and even Trump corrected their lies in that last interview a week ago, right? Most Republicans lying, oh, it was all the way to the end of the abortion and maybe past abortion. As Trump from time to time also says that because he can't help himself. But later in that interview, he was like, no, it's maybe we go to 24 weeks. And the reality is Roe v. Wade had said the last trimester, the fetus has rights because it's viable.
Outside the womb, exactly.
Outside the womb, okay? And so that was the current law that Trump helped to overturn. Now the final thing is, if anyone criticizes him, he usually takes their head off. But he knows with the evangelical base, he's got to be a little bit more careful. That's the most restrained I've ever seen Donald Trump.
So true.
But there's one part of it that's really rubbing him the wrong way, and that's why he couldn't help saying that line in the beginning, which is that they're raising a lot of money off of it. And what Trump thinks is game recognizes game, okay? And he's thinking, I should be raising that money. I'm the one that overturned Roe v. Wade. Why are they getting the money?
Such a good point. I think you hit the nail on the head completely. And so remember, one of the jabs that Donald Trump took against Ron DeSantis was Ron DeSantis's anti-abortion now law in the state of Florida that bans abortion past 6 weeks, effectively bans all abortion because most women don't even realize they're pregnant at 6 weeks. And so he thinks that that's far too extreme. And that led to all sorts of backlash from not just DeSantis, but also the anti-abortion movement. Trump has found himself at odds with pro-life activists this year as he's refused to commit to supporting a national ban on abortion and recently said that 6-week abortion bans signed by Republican governors such as Ron DeSantis and Iowa's Kim Reynolds are terrible. In April, the president of Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life America, her name is Marjorie Dannenflesser, said in a statement that, quote, President Trump's assertion that the Supreme Court returned the issue of abortion solely to the states is a completely inaccurate reading of the Dobbs decision and is a morally indefensible position for a self-proclaimed pro-life presidential candidate to hold. Now, it's just hilarious because how do you not know who Trump really is? But this is the kind of attack that Trump is dealing with from the anti-abortion movement. And so he's a little salty toward them. And as you watch that interview that we just showed you can kind of tell it's taking all the energy he has to be restrained in addressing them because we know what Trump is really like. We know what he's like when he wants to attack. He doesn't like to be attacked himself. Finally, Dannenfelser defended DeSantis and Reynolds after Trump had attacked them over their abortion bans in their states.
So he's being careful because that is a giant voting bloc. And right now they're in his camp. And their poll just came out saying that more Republicans think that Donald Trump is a man of faith than Mike Pence.
Yeah.
Ouch. Now, and Mitt Romney, by the way. Mitt Romney is a very Mormon. And so, very Mormon's hilarious.
That is hilarious.
Yeah,
I was
for those of you celebrating National Mormon Day, congratulations.
No, but like he's very Mormon.
Yeah, meaning he's very devout.
He is devout. He's definitely devout.
Etc.
Yeah.
So as much as I don't like Mike Pence and Mitt Romney on most days, are they better at being a person of faith than Donald Trump? It's not even close. It's not even close. But Republican voters look at that guy who's having sex with porn stars while he's married and his wife is delivering and all that stuff and goes, yeah, I don't care. He doesn't like the people that I don't like and he says things that I like. So, oh yeah, he's a person of faith. But if he attacks pro-life groups, what they call pro-life groups, that will create significant cognitive dissonance. They can justify 1,000 things for their beloved Trump, right? But when you attack on a core fundamental pillar of their belief system that they have said billions of times in their life, oh, pro-life, 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 right? It's gonna create cognitive dissonance and that's going to make them have to decide between you and the abortion issue. And they've been loyal to the abortion issue for 20, 30, 40 years now, right? So that's why Trump at least is strategic enough to know to tread lightly. But if you're celebrating here the fight within the right wing, don't celebrate it because unfortunately this is a rare, smart thing. I can't believe I'm saying it about Trump. But that he's doing politically.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
Because
he's straddling because he has to. He's not an idiot. Look, Trump is driven by one thing and one thing only, self-interest. And he really wants to get elected again as president of the United States. He's poring over the polling and he sees what the public's reaction is to these anti-abortion measures. He sees that the majority of American voters want abortion to be legalized and unrestricted in the first trimester, and that includes the majority of Republican voters. So he has to appeal to that while simultaneously avoiding additional friction and conflict with the evangelical base that wants a literal national ban on abortions. And so he's got to straddle. He's straddler Trump. I like to call him Straddler Trump. Now, is he going to be good at straddling? We'll see.
Yeah, last couple of things here that are important. Look, if you're in a primary where you got a 40 to 50 point lead as Trump does, you don't have to worry about the primary too much. You have to worry about the general election. And in the general election, the #1 bogey for Republicans is abortion. And they have seen losses in Kentucky, Montana, Kansas on this issue. So Trump is rightfully thinking, all right, as long as I don't go nuclear on these anti-choice guys, DeSantis and the other guys don't have a prayer of catching me, and then I'll neuter the Democratic attacks by basically having a pro-choice position in the general election, and that'll cost them their biggest winning issue. I mean, like Trump could go all the way to saying he's pro-choice. He doesn't care. All he cares about is winning. He's never cared about policy, etc. And then one last thing. It's also strategically smart because the donors have started pulling money out of DeSantis because they're saying, look, we don't care which Republican wins. All we want is the goddamn tax cuts. And DeSantis is now in danger of not being able to be viable in a general election because of the 6-week abortion ban he's pushing in Florida. So they started to withdraw some of their money because they just want to win the general election. Trump, seeing that, thinks, ooh, good, let's press on that wound. So then more donors leave DeSantis and maybe even join Trump. Because if the donors, all they care about is tax cuts, you know what's the main thing that Trump just proposed last week was another giant corporate tax cut. So it's not only appeals to voters, but also donors. So yeah, while they might be fighting, if it doesn't blow up, then it's well played by Trump.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate it if you become members because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate media. And all of that is because of you guys. Hit the join button below and become one of us, become a Young Turk.